What's up, guys? We're gonna bro beats. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys another way to make better melodies and beats. If you guys haven't subbed already or turned posters on, make sure you do so because it does help it a lot. Let's hop right into it. So we can just go ahead and get this over with. I'm gonna show you in the beginning an example. So what we need now is just to throw in a scale so you can kind of see. And I'm not sure. Let's do a G minor. I don't think I used a G minor in a while. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this method. I'm gonna be using, we can use this sound for it. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this method now. First thing we got to do is just put some bass notes down, right? You can start wherever. Now we are in G minor. I'm gonna start here, but you can, if you want to start wherever. But I'm just put a generic pattern that I know that works. So we could probably do something like this, and maybe. All right, you could, just because I do it this way doesn't mean that you have to this way. You can switch it around like this if you want to, and make sure if I can get the pattern. It's up to you. Okay, so these are the bass notes. All right, now we just create chords from these notes as normal, like, just how we usually do, right? We're just skipping every other note. Right, if you don't know how to make a chord, I have plenty of videos, but basically just from these notes in the background, you start here, you start at one note, and you skip every other note to create a chord, okay? So this is what we have now, which is fine, right? And then from here, what most people do is they just build on it, right? But what we want to do for this method, and this is going to make your beats a lot more rappable as well, so it'll make your beats better, not just your melodies, is you want to invert the notes. Now you're probably like, oh duh, I already know that, right? And you see people do this all the time. But what that is doing, just doing this, is just limiting your melody range. So what I found works for me personally, is I take the top note and the bottom note, and I always leave the middle note. And I always, depending on what scale I'm in, because obviously if you go super low, it'll get muddy. But I usually take top note and the root note of the chord, and I pull it down an octave. And you can see now we can make a melody within here, right? And now we have a limited range, okay? And I'm gonna actually just pull these back up so you can see the difference. Let's pull this over. So remember the top, and I wish this would stop going. So the top and the bottom, and leave the middle, all right? And we pull it down an octave. Now you can pull it up an octave as well. It's the same thing, but I usually just pull it down because I don't like my melodies too high pitched. Right, so this is what this one sounds like. Same notes, but you can see this one, it's a lot more full, right? We could probably just make a beat just with this. All right, so that's the method, that's it. Let's go ahead and we could just build a melody from this, all right? All right, so now we got our chords just from that first part. Now what we want to do is hold Alt. Now you don't have to do this. If you want yours to be a little faster, you can. But since I'm at 180, I want to stretch this melody out so I have more room to kind of build the melody. I'm gonna hold Shift, click and drag, and pull it over. And since this is kind of like a pad, I'm gonna just pull this out a little bit. All right, so let's move on to the next one, and we can just copy this, paste it. All right, so I'm pressing Control A. I think it's yeah, and then Shift D to make these smaller, and I'm gonna just pull them out a little bit. So now we have this. Now the reason why I like doing this is because it gives you a range to work in, right? And I think that's important when you're trying to build a melody, because this is the original chord, right? I zoom in. You only have 2 notes to work with, so now you're in no man's land. You're not really sure what note to work, right? So now you just have to experiment and just see what works. But when you invert these two, now you have more notes to work with that will most likely sound good within here, right? And when making these, I'm gonna stay within this range. I'm not gonna go outside, just to show you that this does work. Okay, so let's go ahead and start building this melody. So I might turn this down a bit. All right, so we could just move up. I like that dynamic. I don't know what notes. Okay, I like that. And I might add a note over here somewhere. Let's see. Let's try this stuff. Okay, I like that. Right, you can see I'm staying. I wish I could paint these somehow. Just paint the ones in the middle. You can see I'm staying within the range, right? And to me, the melody sounds good. It's not a bad melody. Is it the best? No, but it sounds good, right? Sonically. So I'm gonna just paint these real quick so you can see what we did. And you can see it's within the range. We haven't gone outside any of the ranges at all, right? And you can still do it, right? Don't just think that this is the new way to do it. You shouldn't go outside. Like, you still go outside of it. I'm just saying it's giving you an estimate of where to put your notes now, right? So you're not lost when you start a new melody, right? It's not like a blank canvas, right? So let's pull this and let's just copy this over. And I think we could just stop it there and move on to the next one. All right, so this part is more of a bonus. So let's just copy this over, and what I'm gonna do is show you how to find a melody within it, are using leading tones, and from there you can also create a counter melody from this. So I'm gonna just make sure this sounds good first, and make sure I show you the sounds and everything. And then we have this one, just like some ambience in the background. All right, so let's mute that. Let's copy this over to the piano. Now I brought up a piano because the piano has it's just easier to hear the tones. So let's see, we got all the way. All right, so basically to find the leading tone, it's the strongest tone within the chord, right? Now, since we inverted, it'll be slightly more difficult to figure out which one it is, right? But basically as simple as just finding the tone that you hear the most. So let's just, so I'm kind of leaning towards this one, but clearly I can hear that it's a higher tone that's stronger. All right, so let's highlight that one. And then we only have 2 notes to choose from this one, so. All right, and then obviously this one. And then let's try to figure out one from here. Let me zoom in for you. Okay, and that's just a quick rundown on how to find a melody within here, right? So I'm gonna just go ahead and do the rest of these real quick. And this one's obvious, this one's obvious. Right, so now we have a melody here that we could work around, okay? But this doesn't mean these are the best notes for your melody. It's just a quick way that you can kind of start one, right? Like I said, you don't want to start with a blank canvas all the time, so you can use this as inspiration to start something. All right, so that's pretty much how you would go about finding a melody or starting like a counter melody. Okay, all right, so now we're going to use that last method, right, the leading tone method, to build an actual melody. So I'm gonna use the piano still, and we could just build. So, and with this, I'm using a combo of this method and my ear. So whatever I like, I'm going to highlight, right? So we can just add some double notes in there. Let's go up. And I just unhighlighted all that. I like this dynamic right here, so I'm gonna put those. I might just do something like this. Now, remember with your melodies, you don't want them popping all over the place. So that's why that last method, it works to start, but I don't think it's great to just keep. You always want to use your ear. You can see now my melody has a flow to it. It's not like bouncing, it just goes down and it kind of just flows throughout. and we can just maybe throw something like that in. So I'm gonna copy this here, and we could just paste this over, and I'm gonna add a little variation. It don't gotta be anything crazy, and we could delete this. All right, I'm gonna see what this sounds like. I'm gonna just play this. Definitely turn that up. Okay, I like that. So now we can go ahead and actually do the drums, and we can get this 808 out the way. All right, so now we're just gonna do the 808, and this is really simple, right? We just copy the bass notes. All right, and here we go. Now, y'all can let me know down in the comments, like, do y'all even like singing the drums? Because I feel like it's repetitive at times, because it's pretty much like placing the clap and all that stuff. Like, if you like singing it, just let me know. But if not, I'll just start fast forwarding through it or whatever. So I'm gonna hit Control L to make these longer. And then now we can just get to cutting it. And I'm not gonna do anything crazy. Maybe something like this. Do a few cuts here. And I think that might be good. Let's pull it up. Okay, so that's the bass, and let's move on to like the kick and the clap and stuff. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and pull these kicks down, Control A, then hit Alt K, enter, and I actually might double this. Okay, I kind of like that doubled the clap. And again, just if I don't know if y'all actually like watching the drums, because I ain't gonna lie, the drums are repetitive, especially with just trap beats and rap beats. They are very repetitive. It's the same stuff over and over again. But like with other genres, it's more enjoyable because you have a lot more freedom. But with this stuff, I'm just grabbing the MIDI. Because I feel like y'all don't like watching the drums. That's what I feel like, but how I feel don't matter. It's how y'all really want, what y'all want to see pretty much. So you gotta let me know, or I'm gonna just do whatever. I think we good on that. I just pull in the hi-hat because just speed it up a bit. So we have these, and I'm gonna just use these for bounce. So I'm gonna just put it in areas where it create a lot of bounce for the drums, and I'm gonna just mute the 808 and stuff. All right, that's enough bounce. So I don't want to put too much, just enough. We can just copy this over. I think I want to, we could just leave it simple. All right, so I think that's it. Make sure this is up, and it definitely needs some mixing just from hearing the melody, but it's all right. I'll do it after. So here's the final beat. All right, and that's it. Now keep in mind, this is just the bare melody. I would definitely add more effects, EQ some things, maybe add like make it sound a little bit more ambient for some of the sounds. But that's it for this video. Hopefully the method helped you out and everything. And I hope it makes your melodies better. But that's it for this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.